The sun had barely crested Lake Willow's horizon when the bride's scream shattered the morning calm, champagne glasses toppling as my dock groaned and drifted into the lake's center, carrying her, the groom, and 200 guests with it. From my porch, lemonade in hand, binoculars trained on the chaos, I muttered, "Told you so." 30 minutes earlier, I'd warned Sylvia Grant that my dock wasn't her personal venue. Now, watching the pandemonium unfold, I felt a grim satisfaction. That Saturday started like any other coffee steaming, ducks quacking, fog curling through the pines. I planned to oil the dock boards and feed the birds, the lake's quiet hum my only company. Then a power drill screech pierced the air. I turned, nearly dropping my mug. A white canopy rose on my dock, pastel-dressed workers arranging wedding chairs, 2 men hauling speakers, and there, orchestrating it all, was Sylvia, HOA president, suburban dictator, her highlighted hair gleaming, sunglasses worth more than my truck. Sylvia ruled our lakeside community like a queen with a clipboard, her as per HOA policy mantra a weapon. I'd dodge her calls, newsletters, and surprise inspections for months, but this turning my private dock into a wedding venue was a brazen invasion. I stormed down the path, dodging floral arches and folding chairs. Sylvia spotted me, chirping, "Oh, Ethan, we'll clean up after. It's just a few hours from my niece's big day." I stopped cold. "This is private property, Sylvia. You have no permission. Take it down." She waved a flyer in VY Tatillon, not a permit. "I cleared it with the HOA," she insisted. "This isn't legal," I shot back. "You're trespassing." Her smile soured, but she pivoted, barking at the caterers, ignoring me as guests arrived, selfie sticks flashing, heels clacking. I stood, stunned, as my dock became a stage for her niece's wedding, complete with champagne buckets and a DJ by my fishing chair. Sylvia had erased the line between public and private, and I was done warning her. What she didn't know, what I didn't bother repeating, was that my dock was detachable. Winter repairs had led me to install a quick-release mechanism for the pilings, a temporary fix to swap beams without a barge. I walked back to the house, calm but seething, and in 10 minutes at the boathouse, I flipped the lever. Back on my porch, I raised my binoculars. The ceremony had begun, the groom fidgeting, bridesmaids giggling, Sylvia by the generator, glued to her phone. Then the dock groaned, detaching with a low creak. It drifted slowly at first, unnoticed, until the flower girl stumbled, pointing at the widening gap to shore. Screams erupted. "Get a rope!" someone yelled. The DJ's table tipped, a speaker splashing into the lake. The bride dropped her bouquet, clutching her veil. The groom tried to play it cool, but looked ready to bolt. Sylvia screeched about lawsuits. A toddler nearly slid under a table, chasing a balloon, and the dock floated confidently toward the lake's heart. My phone buzzed. Deputy Mike, an old friend. "Ethan, is your dock drifting with a wedding on it?" I sipped lemonade. "Yup," warned Sylvia. "Doc had other plans." He laughed, hanging up. Down at the lake, Sylvia grabbed a megaphone, demanding calm. No one listened. 2 paddle boats launched, one from the miller's yard, another from an HOA loyalist, both spinning in circles, their paddlers flailing like drunks on a log. One tipped, dumping a suited man into the water. The other reached the dock but lacked rope, clinging desperately as the current pulled. The bride's mother fainted into a shrimp platter, and I stifled a chuckle. Then, a twist. A news chopper's rotors thrummed, circling like a hawk. Sylvia, ever the opportunist, straightened her blouse, donned her sunglasses, and grabbed the DJ's mic. "Welcome to our beautiful floating lake ceremony," she boomed as if this was planned. "Enjoy the open bar and hors d'oeuvres." I nearly choked on my lemonade. A child fished for a shoe with a fork. Guests clung to tables, and she called it a celebration. The chopper's reporter announced, "We're live over Lake Willow. Where a wedding appears adrift, planned, or mishap, we're unclear." Sylvia waved like a pageant queen, the bride sobbing, the groom gripping her shoulder. Neighbors gathered on their docks, beers and binoculars in hand. Jim, 3 houses down, recorded with his camcorder, Wah vying when he caught my eye. A marina rescue boat finally approached, Deputy Mike aboard, unhurried, letting the comedy play out. He escorted guests back in waves, towing the dock to the marina. Sil Vy stayed last, arms crossed, glaring at me across the water. I raised my mug. Her face twisted like she'd swallowed a wasp. By evening, the neighborhood chat exploded. A teen's livestream had gone viral, clips shared globally, dubbed Titanic 2, and Sil Vy's Dock of Doom. Comments rolled in, is this a rom-com or a horror flick? Someone set Sil Vy's megaphone speech to circus music. My army buddy, now a county official, texted, you magnificent bastard. But I knew Sil Vy wouldn't slink away. She'd come back swinging, with paperwork and vengeance. What she didn't know was my security cameras had caught everything: her setup orders, her dismissal of my warnings, her trespass. I was ready for round two. The emergency HOA meeting hit the next night, labeled with Sil Vy's signature all-caps fury in the community app. Consequences will follow. Held in the rec center, usually home to bingo and book clubs, it drew a crowd: board members, regulars, even the quiet folks, all buzzing with gossip. Sil Vy strode in, blouse pressed, pearls gleaming, her calm a thin veil over rage. An unfortunate incident occurred, she began, calling the wedding a community celebration. Snickers rippled through the room. The dock was manipulated, endangering guests. No permit, no inspection, no warning. I raised my hand. I warned you, Sil Vy. It's private property. You trespassed and ignored me. Heads nodded. Everyone had seen the Vy Deo. Sil Vy snapped. That Vy Deo's edited out of context. A front row woman piped up. I nearly fell in SA, Vying my purse. You didn't check safety. Another added. My kid got sick from sun-spoiled food. The tide turned. Paul, a retired firefighter and board member, stood. Sil Vy, you've overstepped before, but this endangered people. You treat private property like your playground. Her face flushed, hands gripping the podium. I was creating unity, she insisted. Paul cut in. We need leadership that respects boundaries. You don't. The room erupted, airing old wounds. Sil Vy's Yunin Vy Ted Yard Vy sits. Arbitrary fines, self-approved projects. A motion to vote her out as president passed, set for the next week. Sil Vy stormed out, sunglasses on in the dark, the crowd abuzz. I Vy cited my lawyer, Carl, in his book-stuffed office, handing him a flash drive. Everything's here: Vy Deo, audio, timestamps. It showed Sil Vy's setup, her scoffing at my warnings, her bragging about HOA backing. Cease and desist for trespassing, Carl at Vy said. Small claims if you want. I opted for the letter first, to let her stew. Delivered by courier, it warned of legal action for further violations. Sil Vy glared from across the street. I waved, trimming my hedges. 2 days later, she appeared with cupcakes fancy, ribbon tied. Through the glass, she forced a smile, claiming a misunderstanding. I cracked the door, camera rolling. Apology noted, but step on my dock again, and it's trespassing charges. Her smile twitched, rage simmering. She left the cupcakes. I tossed them, knowing she'd strike back. She did, with a utility truck and a county inspector, Alan, claiming an anonymous tip about my dock's environmental violations. Sylvie atrailet zmuk expecting agoja. I walked Alan through permits, repairs, and receipts airtight. After an hour, he nodded. You're compliant. Sil Vy's face soured. Next time, make sure your tip checks out, I said. Days later, leaked email surfaced, showing Sil Vy planning the wedding, ordering setup on my dock, even suggesting a Wi-Fi jammer to disable my cameras. Outrage spread. The next HOA meeting was a zoo, the rec center packed. Paul read the emails. Sil Vy is stone-faced. After heated debate, the board voted her out, 3 for removal, 2 abstained. She left silently, the room exhaling. A for sale sign sprouted in her yard. Humiliation, legal pressure, or loss of control, whatever drove her, Sil VY was gone. The Department of Environmental Protection investigated, finding her due loss $6,000 for wedding-related lake damage, crushed reeds, spilled generator fuel. Her name was on the permit. She packed and vanished. No farewell, just a MOVing truck. A retired couple, Tom and Ellen, bought her house, asking about woodpeckers and shoreline plants. I call them my favorite neighbors. I rebuilt the dock longer, reinforced with solar lights. Neighbors helped, laughing about the fiasco. A sign read, "Private dock, trespassers will be drifted." The Freedom Float celebration, with lanterns and laughter, marked the end of Sil VYA's reign. Paul thanked me for showing the quietest neighbor knows what to do. I held a spray-painted or best dock defense, grinning as lanterns glowed across the lake. Peace settled. No more clipboard patrols or fines. Kids biked freely, neighbors waved. I fixed my porch swing, painted the shed, and watched herons for my dock. One morning, a group chat message from Paul buzzed. "Ethan, know anything about a zip line to your roof?" I squinted up the hill of rope stretched toward my shed. Muttering, "Not again," I headed for my tools, planning air horns and reinforcements. The lake was calm, but this neighborhood? Never dull. If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back, or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this VY Deo with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next VY Deo.